We gone.
Good morning, YouTube. It's your girl, Caramel Diva, and you are cooking with Caramel Diva. The last time I was on, you guys were not able to see me make the Southern homemade biscuits. That is a recipe that I picked up from a fellow YouTuber, one of my YT sisters, Divas Can Cook. For the exact recipe, please go over to her channel and get that. Today we're using white lily flour. For some odd reason, this is just the best flour to make biscuits. Some baking powder, baking soda, your biscuit cutter. I don't want to make big biscuits, so I'm gonna use a cup. Some salt, you need your measuring cups, sugar, and her secret ingredient, mayo. We'll show you what to do with that. Everything is cold. My husband just took the bowl out of the oven, the butter, out of the oven, out of the freezer. And so we have a biscuit cutter, but this one is just too big to make biscuits with right now. We did that on the last video. I said biscuit cutter, but this is to make the biscuits, to shape them. This is your cutter. It's been in the freezer. And the butter, we've got 2 sticks. May not use it all, but this is what we have. So we're going to go ahead and get started. You want to sit down? Okay. It's a long video. We also have some pans over here with melted butter in it already. Here's one with some melted butter in there. I'm not even sure how much you put in there, but you know, you put as much as you like to coat your pan with. So we're going to start off with 2 cups of white lily flour. Oh Lord, I was trying not to make a mess, but look like that's gonna
You'll
happen.
clean it up.
Look like that's gonna happen. All right, 2 cups of all-purpose flour. And I'm measuring, but I'm not really measuring, you guys, especially when it comes to the baking soda and the baking powder and all that. I forgot my whisk to mix everything up. I can use this spoon, that's fine. Because he's backing up. He is not my normal cameraman, you guys. My cameraman is at school. I'm off today, so we're going in with 2 cups of white lily flour into our cold bowl. The cheese grater also.
Huh?
Cheese grater. It's into the bowl. The next thing we're going to do is go in with some baking powder. Again, you can get the measurements from Divas Can Cook. This is her Grandma Barb's Southern biscuit recipe. He just brought out my cheese grater because you definitely need this to grate your butter in. If you don't have one, just cut it in using like a couple of forks or knives, butter knives, and just cut it up into the deal, into your bowl. We're going in with some baking soda, baking powder.
You just did baking powder.
Baking powder first, and then baking soda. Thank you for helping me, honey, because today I'm not in it. I ain't on camera because I look a hot mess because it's the morning and I just woke up. Baking soda, baking powder, and I'm going to do some salt. And some sugar. The last time I made them, I forgot the sugar. All right, so you're going to mix this up till it's well combined. If you want to sift this together, that's probably the best bet. Sift your dry ingredients together. But I didn't do that, so I'm just mixing it up like so and making sure that it's well combine in the bowl. That's about right there. Okay, then you're going to take your butter and you are going to grate you some butter inside. This butter is the bloopers of YouTube. It's frozen, y'all, so you can just see right there. I'm gonna take this butter and you put however much butter you like. I want a buttery biscuit, so I might use this whole stick of butter. One of the other things that we did not tell you that was being used is some vegetable shortening. Now, Diva's Can Cook, she used butter Crisco shortening. I don't have any, so I'm using what I have, and that is the vegetable Crisco vegetable shortening, and also some buttermilk. You will need about a cup of buttermilk for this recipe. Trying to make sure I got everything in there besides the. Just grate it up. And this is real butter, you guys. Do not use margarine. It has too much water in it. If you can get you some real butter, even the off-brand, like, you know, your local grocery store's brand, or if you have an Aldi's, you know, get the Aldi's brand, because it's definitely a little cheaper. I'm going to leave that in there, that little bit, because I'm not going to cut my hand up. But we're cutting it up anyway with our cutter. So I'm going to do a little bit more. And I may add some more later. The bloopers of YouTube, y'all. Golly, this butter is not giving me a break. It don't want me to be great, babe. The butter don't want me to be great. That's all right. All right. So try to get all that butter out of there. The more butter, the better. To me. All right. So get that piece of butter off my arm. There's what it looks like thus far. And you're going to give it a mix. Just give it a quick little mix. Make sure you fold in all of that butter with your white lily flour. If you don't have white lily flour, you can use all-purpose flour. That'll be fine. I just think that you get a more dense biscuit when you use the all-purpose flour. Okay, so I'm gonna get here's your Crisco, vegetable Crisco. Again, use butter Crisco, butter flavored Crisco if you have it. And I'm just going to get a little spoon of it, like so, and put it in there. It's also cold, which is why it's taking a little bit to come off of here. And then we're going to go in with our biscuit cutter, and we're going to cut it up until it looks nice and grainy. Can you see? Oh, I don't want my arm to be blocking. Make sure you get it all cut in. Your butter will be cut in, your vegetable shortening or your butter Crisco shortening. You cut it all in using this cutter. Let me see if I can hold it like this. Nice and grainy. That's pretty good. You see little rolls and stuff, that butter in there. Just, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going right back in that butter. That one, get some of butter don't want to cut up. I'm going in with a little bit more butter. Butter makes everything better. Do you agree, honey? No? I have almost grated up an entire stick of butter into our dry mixture. Pull that back. And I'm kind of doing this too to overcompensate for the fact that I don't have the butter shortening, the butter flavored Crisco shortening. So I like a lot of butter, but I am trying to do a little bit more because I don't have the butter flavored Crisco. Let me try to get it all out of there. Make sure your hands are impeccably clean, as my other YT sister says, Miss Gina Young. Make sure your nails and whatnot are all cleaned out, because you are going to have to go in with your hands at some point. Okay, that's good right there. That's good. So the next thing we're going to do is go in with a cup of buttermilk. I'm trying, oh, okay, we got till March 11th. Trying to use this buttermilk up before it goes bad. A cup of buttermilk. Well, I probably got about 1 1/4, so we'll pour slow. You're gonna pour your cold buttermilk. All the ingredients need to be cold. I left about a 1/2 cup thus far. And then you're just gonna fold. Do not take your spoon or your whisk and start whisking this away as if you would anything else. It's very important that you just fold it in. Fold it in and because you don't want to over beat or over mix your biscuits, because then you have a tough biscuit. I've learned through trial and error. And that's how I know all-purpose flour sometimes makes a dense biscuit. Trial and error. All right, we'll go in with the rest of our buttermilk. And if we need some more, then we'll get some more. But you want a nice sticky dough. That buttermilk. If you don't have buttermilk, okay, use some regular milk. But once again, you're not going to have a light and airy biscuit from my experience. From my experience. If you know how to fix it differently and you come out with a light, airy biscuit using regular milk and all-purpose flour, comment below. Okay, that's what you want it to look like. It's nice and sticky. And I'm going to move some of this stuff out of the way so that we can turn it out. Turn out the dough. I'm gonna use some of that flour. Turn out the dough onto our table, our surface. Move some of this stuff out of the way. Hey, is this butter? Put that butter in there. And this is butter too. Huh. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna put a little bit of this same white lily flour onto my surface here. Make sure your hands are nice and floured. Spread this out. Make sure your hands are floured because this dough is sticky. So you're just gonna scoop it out onto your floured surface. Let's get it all off of this spatula because we need all of our biscuit dough. it is very sticky. So you just go in with your biscuits, and if you fold them over, as I'm doing, that creates layers. That's going to create layers. It's sticky. It's sticking to the table. So that's why you want to make sure that your surface is nice and floured. We have the oven also preheating on 350 degrees. I'm going to add a little bit more flour to our surface and to our hands. For the purpose of this video, I'm not really going fast, but with everything that you have out here, you want to kind of make this a little quicker so that everything stays fairly cold. And I can still feel like my butter and my oil, my shortening mixture that's in here, it is still cold. Pick it up and move it over here. Back into the camera view, I guess. Okay, so however thick or however thin you want your biscuits to rise. That's about it right there. That's what you want. I think I folded it enough. Let me give it one more fold. Put some more on my hands. Flour. If it's too sticky, just add some flour to your hands. Create layers. Create layers. Get some of this dough off of here. Put it into. Okay, so then we're going to flatten it out some. You can use a rolling pin if you'd like. Man, I can see those bits of butter in there. See, that's a little too sticky right there, so I'll add a little bit more flour. And then we're going to fold it over one more time to make sure. You definitely want it sticky, but by the time you finish, you want a nice dough. Okay, so you take your cup or your biscuit shaper, cutter. Make sure that it's floured really good, like so, because you don't want to dip it down in here and it sticks. Those are still going to be pretty big. Go in and push down. Don't twist. I don't know why you're not supposed to twist, but all the great cooks say don't twist, so I'm going to say don't twist. There's one biscuit. Put that in your... You see the layers in there? Those are going to be layers for your biscuit. Press it down. Nice and firm. And after every cutout that you make, put those biscuits close together. Reflour your biscuit cutter. I keep calling it a cutter, but it's, you know, this is a little more difficult without the... Just scoop it up out of there. Is it still sticky on the bottom? Yeah, but it'll be fine. Put them close together. Now, you got some more biscuit dough here. You just need to pull it all together and fold it and shape it out. That's all. to make you a few more biscuits. They may not be as big and as perfect as your first ones were, but it's okay. And my dough on the inside, it still has a pretty sticky consistency, which is good. And depending on, and I did do a little twist on that, but depending on how you, how big you want your biscuits to be, that's how big your not cookie cutter, but your biscuit cutter needs to be. This one's gonna be a little thin because we're getting down to the last bit. So that's 6 biscuits so far. Now this part right here, I guess I could make, I think I can make another biscuit with that? It's gonna be little.
Well, do it like you usually do the thing.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll take this one and make like a little breadstick with this. And just kind of take it and roll it. Roll it like so. And make a breadstick. Well, let me put it together like this. And then just make a little roll. Or a twist. Whatever you want to do with your last little bit. And just stick it in your pan. Now, last but not least, I know it seems weird, but the last time we made these biscuits and we used this mayo, this is just some real mayo here, and you baste it, they came out so moist. I don't know, that mayo did something I can't even describe. Can you describe what the mayo did, babe?
It made it taste good, I know that.
You can't taste the mayo like after it's cooked. You can't taste it, but it has a certain type of a moisture. Don't forget to have some melted butter waiting at the end to so you can baste it with the melted butter once it's done. This will go in the oven for, I guess, 12 to 14 minutes, depending on your oven. We have the oven set at 350. I'm not sure. This mayo just does it. I don't know if it adds extra. They're just so tender and fluffy and light. And this is just one of Diva's Can Cook's little tricks that she did. So baste them like so. And we're going to throw them in the oven at 350 degrees for at least 14 minutes. Keep an eye on them. Okay. And we're going in the oven. That's been preheating for a while. Alright. So I'm going to come back with a new video of what they look like when they're done. Talk to y'all in a bit.